serpent gods around the world. Previously, we talked about how Lucifer is not the serpent in Genesis. We covered how in Genesis the serpent was never called a Satan, and nowhere in the Bible does it say Lucifer is the serpent in Genesis. We also talked about how Satan is a title or action meaning accuser or adversary, and how in the Bible there are many Satans. We also talked about Revelations and how Lucifer is never mentioned in Revelations, and how Revelations never says that the dragon, the old serpent, never says it's the serpent in Genesis. Lastly, we talked about the rabbinical text and 1 Enoch, and how in the rabbinical text Samael, the leaders of the angels of death, and it is said that he rides a serpent as a mount. We also talked about 1 Enoch, where it says that the angel who tempted Eve was Gadriel, an angel of death, and how Gadriel was most likely the serpent who tempted Eve. With the revelations of Gadriel being the most likely candidate for the serpent, it had us curious about other religious myths of serpents that are heavenly beings. Nidhog. Nidhogg is a dragon and a serpent in Old Norse mythology. In the Poetic Edda, Nidhogg dwelled at the bottom of the world tree Yggdrasil. Nidhogg is an evil force, eating away at the roots of the world tree, which harms the celestial order of the 9 realms. Nidhogg, which translates to Curse Striker, or He Who Strikes with Malice, is one of the evil serpents in Old Norse mythology. By eating away at the roots of the world tree, Nidhogg causes chaos to the 9 realms. Nidhogg wants to bring back the primordial chaos before the rule of the Old Norse gods. Nidhogg is described as a serpent-like dragon that will fly from the roots of the world tree, from the realm of Niflheim, to wage war on the gods during Ragnarok, and side with the giants. In some tellings of the Poetic Edda, Nidhogg often dwells on the shores of Nastron, the shore of corpses. Apep. Apep, was otherwise known as Apophis, was an evil god in ancient Egyptian mythology. Apep's symbol was the snake, and was often depicted as a great serpent or a great dragon. Apep was an evil god that dwelled within the underworld. As a force of evil, Apep was given the titles of Evil Dragon, and waged war with Ra and the forces of Ma'at. Apep was born from the umbilical cord of Ra, and was often associated with sea dragons or sea serpents. An additional form of Apep was that of a crocodile. Another common origin of Apep was that he was birthed in the primordial chaos Nu at the beginning of time. Regardless on whether Apep was born in the primordial chaos or Ra's umbilical cord, what is certain is that Apep was the enemy of Ra. Apep could not dwell in the realm of mortals, and would wait below the horizon to strike at Ra when the sun went down. Apep was known to cause earthquakes and cause thunderstorms. Being a being from the underworld, and a primordial evil being, Apep could not truly be defeated, and would rise to attack Ra every night. Under Apep's command, he led an army of demonic beings that would hunt both the living and the dead, and would require rituals to ward off, which can be found in the Book of Apophis. Masusu. Masusu was a mythical dragon with scaly hind legs ending in talons, lion-like forearms, a long neck, and a snake tongue, and a torso of a fish. Masusu was depicted on the Ishtar Gate in the city of Babylon. Masusu was a demonic dragon hybrid and a companion of the Babylonian god Marduk. Masusu guarded the city of Babylon and was one of the forces of darkness that fought Marduk in the Enuma Elish. Marduk defeated Masusu and forced him to be his servant. When looking at different ancient religions around the world, there are several similarities with the serpent in Genesis. With Nidhog, a serpent dragon bit at the roots of the world tree. This world tree being the stabilizing force that held the 9 realms, and the serpent destroying that stability is similar to Genesis and how the serpent ultimately disrupted the stability of Eden. Apep and Masusu were both forces of evil. Apep was associated with the water and a god of the underworld, while Masusu was a primordial demon that fought Marduk. In each case, these serpentine dragons were forces of evil. Although none of these stories perfectly fit with the story of Genesis, it is interesting to see the similarities of an evil heavenly snake that causes disorder and chaos to the plans of the good heavenly beings. It is also interesting to see the differences in the stories as well. With Nidhogg, the gods are powerless to stop the destruction of the world tree, while Apep, Ra cannot defeat Apep permanently, and is in an eternal struggle with Apep. And with Masusu, Marduk uses a demon as his ally. Each of these stories differ from Isaiah, where God will destroy the original sea serpent or dragon, Leviathan, with his sword, a parallel with what will happen to the dragon in Revelations. This video is a bit different from our usual content, and mainly focuses on the mythologies of other ancient religions, and the evil serpent gods around the world. Let me know if you like this kind of content, and if you do, let me know if you want more of it. Let me know in the comment section below, and for more Supernatural History TV, like and subscribe.